Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, two-time best-selling author, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Today we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Dr. Valeka Moore. A little bit about her. Dr. Valeka Moore is a devoted wife and mother. She is an award-winning entrepreneur and the CEO and founder of Empowerment Through Its Expression, LLC, and Brilliant One Unlimited, LLC. Dr. Valeka is a prophetess, therapist, coach, speaker, and the author of The Mental Detox for the Brilliant Woman Leader and visionary author of the Breaking to Brilliance anthology series. Affectionately known as Dr. V, this transformation activator is passionate about assisting individuals through processes of breakthrough and healing, and empowers amazing women leaders to shift from being stuck, confused, and frustrated through strategies to transform their minds, business, and lives as they fully embrace and activate the next level of their God-given purpose and brilliance. Welcome to the table, the amazing Dr. Valeka Moore.
Hello, Ashley. Thank you so much for having me this evening.
You are welcome. So, Dr. Valeka, you have an amazing bio. So would you please tell us a little bit more about your entrepreneurial journey?
Yes, I am excited to do that. Well, thank you so much for the introduction, once again, for having me today. So my entrepreneurial journey. Right now, I am an entrepreneur of 5 years. How did I get here? I have just always been an entrepreneur at heart. I think that was just the calling that was on my life even before I knew what an entrepreneur was, even before I knew what it meant to be a business owner. I was just always creative. I was always creating something, making something, and I was making it to sell it. So from the time I was probably 9 or 10 years old, I remember sitting in my room, and I have siblings, but I am kind of older than my siblings. So I was a child that played a lot by myself. I would create things, and as I created these things, I would, put prices on them. So I might be in my room drawing pictures, and, most pictures, they may have been 5 or 10 cents. And then, if I thought it was really good, then I'm drawing a picture that was 25 cents. I'm like, oh, I'm selling this one for 25 cents. So, I was always just an innovator, a creator, and, it was always, okay, I can sell this. I can do something with this, So even outside of, the pictures, as I grew up, anything that I thought about, it was always around creating something. I had a babysitters club when I was in 6th grade. I had a hair. I would do hair at my mom's house, or down, at my church. I would, do our church members' hair. When I went away to college, I had my posters and stuff to do hair. So it was always something. I never really said, okay, I'm going to have a 9 to 5 job. It was always, I'm creating something. So, as I was getting ready to go to college, I actually thought I was going to be an author. And, because that's what I wanted to do from the time I was 11 years old. I said I was going to be an author. And when I was in my last year of college, I was like, okay, I found my love for psychology because I took a psychology course in my last year of high school, actually. And, I was like, wow, no, this is what I want to do. So the path changed a little bit, and I ended up changing the major that I thought I was going to pursue, which was English. So I ended up going to school for psychology, but as I was entering college, it was still on that entrepreneurial path. It was still, I'm going to have a therapy practice. I'll still write a book. and, everything was just entrepreneurial focused. So 5 years ago, as I said, I did work. I worked at some great companies under some great CEOs, but around 6 years ago, it just started, I just really started having that itch to really create my own. So 5 years ago, I did start my therapy practice in Laurel, Maryland. I'm the owner of another business, Brilliant One Unlimited LLC. So it's been an awesome journey so far.
Yes, it has, and it started out as a child. So you've always been this creative mind, Dr. Moore. So it was destined for you to be an entrepreneur, right?
Absolutely, amen.
I love your story. I love your story.
Thank you.
Yes, you are welcome. So today we're going to talk about more the mental health side as well. Because, a lot of people don't like to talk about mental health, but we got to talk about it, right? We got to talk about it. So, Dr. V, you are known as a transformation activator. Please share with the listening audience a little bit more about, the transformation activator.
Okay, so absolutely. As you mentioned, we got to talk about that mental health piece. So I am a therapist. I have been doing therapy since 2005. The transformation activator piece, it's all about helping brilliant people, so already brilliant people, activate what's already within them to execute what's purpose for them to do and who they're supposed to be. So, we already have what we need, but sometimes we don't even know what's inside of us. So, I always say that it starts with the mind. Everything, it just starts with the mind. So if we can get our minds right, if we can get them clear, if we can get them focused, and really just begin to understand and know what we possess, then we're doing well. We're able to begin to move forward. So that's what I do. I help just brilliant people be able to shift their mindset to really be able to see who they are, what they're capable of, so that they're able to move into their next. And of course, we can't just leave it with shifting mindsets. The work has to come after that, because we know the Word of God tells us faith without works is dead. So, even when we get to the point of knowing that we can do something, then we have to begin to activate. We have to begin to execute and move forward. So also helping individuals be able to develop plans for execution so that they're able to shift boldly into their next.
I love that. So basically, when you as a transformation activator, you deal with people with brilliant minds. So what are some things that you're finding with some of your clients with them? What is mentally with them? Is it hard for them to balance, their work life? What are some things that you're finding with them to be able to shift their mindset? Because I know sometimes it can be overwhelming definitely for overachievers to keep that balance and keep that healthy mindset.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So sometimes it is the balance piece, which is why I heavily focus on self-care. That's where that starts, with us knowing that, number one, we deserve to take care of ourselves, and we need to take care of ourselves. So once we understand that, we grasp that, we can begin to implement the balance that we need. Sometimes it's even just the limitations that we put on ourselves, so whether we grew up with them, whether it was something that was said to us at some point and it causes us to, just kind of pump the brakes and put the limits on ourselves, or whatever it may be, just doubt, fear, maybe rejection or something that has happened before, so those are some of the things that I also have to help individuals work through as well, to help them get to their next level.
Yes, and that's so important, because everything starts with the mind, right? So it's so important
that
we keep that together, because it all starts there, and having, like you said, that self-care. Because if we're not healthy internally, we can't do it so much on the outside, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's going to eventually break apart.
Absolutely. And what's going on in the inside, if we don't take care of that, it begins to show up on the outside. Or it shows up, if we're not taking care of our mind, it shows up on the inside of our bodies, so not only mentally, but physically. So, that's why it's so important that we take care of ourselves mentally.
Yes. So what are some signs of good mental health, Dr. V?
Oh, that is good. That is a good question. So, I mean, definitely having, you already talked about it a little bit, so definitely being able to have a balanced life, being able to enjoy life. And it's not to say that stressors don't come, but it's knowing what to do and being able to do what we need to do when the stressors come, when we know that we're overwhelmed, when we, when things, just start to get really busy. Like, we know what to do, because what I tell everyone is that the stressors come. Life is life. So, I mean, there are going to definitely be things that we experience, but it's all about knowing what to do. It's all about knowing ourselves. It's all about having that self-care plan. And what I always say about the self-care plan is that it's better to go ahead and have a self-care plan so that we don't have to implement a safety plan. So, but because if we're not, taking the time to really care for ourselves, it's no telling what's going to happen. We might end up in the hospital. We're not really, the ripping and running and things that we do to take care of everyone else. If we're not doing that, then we're not going to forever be able to take care of everything and everyone else. So it's all about really, just creating that balance in our lives. It's about, having the enjoyment, even when the stressors come, that, we can still see that life is good. We can still feel that life is good. So it's all about the self-care and having the self-care plan.
I love that. So for listeners that are listening, having a balanced life, knowing ourselves, and having that self-care plan, so you won't have to create a safety plan. I love that, Dr. Valeka. Love that.
Yes.
So why is it important to be mentally happy and healthy?
Because it's better for us and it's better for everyone around us. It's better for, it's good for us, because we want to have happy lives. I mean, it just makes us feel more free. It just, it makes us just feel more clear. It helps us to be able to focus better. And it helps us to really just be there, be in the moment, and, just have good energy with those that are going to be around us. So whether it's our family, it's our coworkers, our friends, I mean, just to think about how you feel when you're like stressed or you're, super overwhelmed, and, you're around people, you give off that energy that might not be the most positive energy. So, when you're healthy and you're happy and you're taking care of you and you're taking that time for you, that shows. You let off that good positive energy, that feel-good energy. I can just think about, sometimes I remember just being like super overwhelmed, whether it was, when I was working, I was going to school, and, just everything that was going on and everything that I was taking on. And I remember, I would like come home and it's like, okay, it's a rush, still trying to make sure the children have everything they need. But it wasn't, I feel like for my husband and my children, they weren't always getting the best of me. They weren't always getting the best energy because I was so overwhelmed. And so overwhelmed with life and just trying to take everything on and do everything, So what I noticed when I began to make some changes, when I began to understand me, what I needed, just how to say no, not to take on too much, that it was just better it was good for me, and, it just felt better for my family as well.
And you said one key thing, you learned how to say no. A lot of us struggle with that, right? And that leads down a hard road sometimes when you don't know how to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked you that question about maintaining good, being happy, mentally happy and healthy, because a lot of us put on a show sometimes. We put on a face, but we really hurting, We put a good game on, but we're really not happy. We're really not healthy. We're just playing the face, and then when we get home, we're still, we're a mess, So that's why I asked that question.
Yeah, that's so good. And, and that's something that I bring up a lot when I speak as well, is that, we can be sitting beside someone and we don't know what they're going through. They could be smiling, we're having a conversation, they're laughing, but they could really be hurting inside, So what I always say is that it's, important, we can ask people how they're doing. And what usually happens when we ask someone how they're doing? They'll usually say, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm okay. But sometimes when we say that, when that's our response, that's really not how we're feeling. It's really some things going on, and it's not good, fine, and okay. And what I always say is that you don't have to tell everyone your business, but we do have to learn to be transparent with ourselves. So that's why it's so important for us to be able to take the breaks and just take time to ourselves, to admit to ourselves how we feel, and then, begin to think about what we need and establish that plan from there.
Why do you think people say, we're okay? Why do you think that's always, you're right, that's a normal answer? Why do you think that?
Because I think it's easy. I think it's well rehearsed, it's practiced. I think, it's part of us as well as just having that mask on, not knowing who we can share things with, or, feeling guilty sometimes even about feeling a certain way, or we just don't deal with things ourselves and we push it down. So, it's just easy to say I'm okay because we don't even want to deal with it.
I agree, which leads me into what I'm about to ask you, because a lot of us, don't believe that, people look at therapy as a bad thing, right? But actually, it's a healthy thing. So why should everyone, even happy people, go to therapy?
That's good. So what I always say about therapy is that therapy is not for everyone, but it can be for anyone, because there are going to be some people that don't go. There are going to be some people that, try or have other methods that are helpful for them, but therapy can be for anyone, because I think, we have this stigma around what therapy is and who needs therapy, who should go to therapy. Like, we've created this, just this face of therapy. And really what I've been educating on for the past couple years is that, number one, we have to realize that we all have mental health. We just see it as, people maybe sometimes with diagnoses, or, people that act a certain way or do something, we have that imprinted in our minds, and we all have mental health, so it might not be necessarily a clinical diagnosis, but it can be, just the fact that we're under a lot of stress, and we have to take care of that, so our thoughts and our feelings, that makes up our mental health. So I think, a lot of people don't understand that. But, why can therapy be good for everyone? Because sometimes we just need to unload. And it's as simple as that. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to outside of our circle, outside of our family and friends. And, and the people that love us and want the best for us, but, might not be able to give us the most objective perspective. Because they love us so much, so sometimes we need something outside of that family friend love. We need something else, or sometimes, the things that we, that we have going on with us, we might not feel comfortable sharing with the people that know us. And sometimes it's just a matter of problem solving. I have a lot of clients that come to me just based on helping them be able to work through something. They know that something is going on. They know that it needs to be fixed, but they just feel like they don't have the strategy. So they're just coming to just share what's going on and to get a strategy for working through what's going on.
And then again, like you stated, our friends might not be the right people to go to, because actually we should be going to the expert anyway, right, to help us in that,
Absolutely.
Specialize in it.
Right. Or, and sometimes, and what I always talk about is us having support, and having the right support, having, not the person that's just going to tell us, what we want to hear, but that person that can tell us what we need to hear sometimes. And we lose that sometimes talking to our family and friends, or, they're just telling us, what they think we should do, So, it just really offer a different perspective. And for my practice, one thing, an element that I added to my practice, it's been almost 2 years ago, is the mind spa part of it. And, we see clients of all backgrounds. We see children, we see adults, men, women, for a wide range of just different issues, whether, it involves a diagnosis, whether it's just self-care. But one thing that I noticed with a lot of my clients, and most of my clients that I've had over the past 5 years have been women clients. And one of the things that I would ask them just after hearing them share what they were coming in for was, I would ask, what's your self-care plan? How do you take care of yourself? I didn't even say what's your self-care plan. How do you take care of yourself? And, it would always kind of be a response like, what do you mean? How do I do that? What, self-care, huh? And just with keep hearing that and, even looking at my life, because, sometimes we don't even think about that, self-care. We just think about, I got to get this done. I got to do that. I got to work on this, that and the other, that, we kind of lose ourselves in life. And, so I added another facet to the practice, which was the mind spa. And, and this was also during the time that I was really just doing education on mental health, that it's more than just a clinical diagnosis. Sometimes it is just a matter of self-care, because we all have mental health. So it was the self-care, the self-care part of the practice where, individuals, they were just able to come in, kind of unload. We had the tea and everything going, the nice music, and it was just a way for them to clear their head. They come in, they get their massages, so we just incorporated a lot of things that made it not feel so therapy, but like just a self-care environment, because we all need that. That is so important.
I love everything that you said, because we all have mental health. All the listeners,
yes,
we all have mental health.
I
love that, because I know we have some listeners that are listening, and for the listeners that are listening, Dr. Valeka, what are some strategies you would give to listeners who are struggling with maintaining good mental health and self-care? Because some of us, we might have, we know we're overwhelmed, but we haven't really, how we haven't accepted it, right? So what are some strategies you would give to people who are struggling right now? Because right now, people are going through so much right now in this world, and they don't they don't think they need help, but they do need help. So what are some strategies you would give them?
Absolutely. I love that question. And, and sometimes it's scary when you hear, sometimes when people hear, and I know I talk about it to my clients, and I might say, okay, we have to develop a self-care plan for you. You got to be able to take care of yourself. And it's like people get scared because they feel like sometimes that taking care of themselves takes so much time. And it's just, and that's usually what we'll say is that, well, I just don't have time for that right now because there's so much going on. But, a big thing to understand is that self-care, you should do something every day, but it doesn't have to necessarily take long. One thing that I say is so important is just taking some time, taking a moment to breathe, number one. Taking a moment to breathe. That is like a simple, easy, just quick thing to do that sometimes we don't think, most of the time we're not thinking about it. And God gave us this great gift of breath and being able to breathe. And, sometimes we really just take it for granted because we're going with life and just, whatever is going on with our day, and we're not, I always say our moods probably change 20, 25 times a day just based on whatever is going on. And sometimes we don't even take a moment just to stop and breathe and say, oh, my gosh, am I okay? So we're walking through the day, day after day after day, just tensed, and, just holding stuff in that we haven't taken care of because we haven't even stopped to take a moment to breathe. Because by the time that, we get home, take care of the children, or do whatever we need to do at home, it's like, whoo, I'm tired, and I'm just going to jump into bed now. And
right.
then we go to bed with all of that. And I always say, if you don't take a moment to unload that, everything that you went through during the day, more than likely it's going to follow you in your sleep and in your dreams, because you've taken all of that with you. So, it's so important that if we just take like 2 to 5 minutes sometime throughout the day just to take a breath, that's going to be, something that is going to be super helpful. Just making sure that we're breathing right, that, our breathing isn't shallow, that we're not breathing too fast. And even if that's what we notice, then, that alerts us to that something is going on, that, okay, I might be a little stressed right here. I might be holding in a lot of tension in my body right now, so I need to do something about that. I also think that it's important that we just take time, whether it's, we can do it every day or whether we just can do it a couple days a week, that we actually sit down, take time, if it's even just 20 minutes during the day, just to evaluate how am I doing? Us asking our own selves that question. So somebody else might ask, how are you? We might say fine, but really
right.
sitting down, being in the moment with ourselves and saying, how am I really doing? Because when we ask ourselves that and we can be honest with ourselves, then we can begin to think about what we need and how to implement that. So I think that that's so important as well. And then the last thing is really just not being afraid to seek support, seek professional help if it's needed. Knowing that it's okay. It's just a phone call away. It's just, being able to find someone and, just being able to then go see, grace their couches, being able to just pour out, because I'm sure, so many of us, we're pouring into others all day, but sometimes we just need to be able to just sit down and just pour everything out and have someone pour back into us. So just knowing that, seeking a counselor, whether it's a clinical social worker, a psychologist, some type of therapist, a Christian or pastoral counselor, whatever works for you, but you having someone that you can share and just pour out to and can pour back into you.
I love that. Someone that can pour back into you and taking those 2 to 5 minutes to breathe.
Yes.
Taking time to evaluate, asking yourself, how are you doing? That's so important. And seeking professional help is needed. Do not be afraid to do that. Do not be afraid to get help.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Valeka, you are the CEO and founder of Empowerment Through Expressions, LLC. So please share with the listeners more about your amazing company.
Yes, absolutely. So I did share a little bit. So we are mental health center and mind spa. So, what we do, we treat a wide range of clinical issues or just those that just need to come in and, like I said, unload, just talk a little bit, do some problem solving, some goal setting. We are a group practice, so it's myself, and I have a couple other therapists there. Just anyone that needs to come in needs to be a higher level of care, that such as, maybe a psychiatrist or something. So, we do send referrals because what's the most important thing is that, we're making sure that everyone's needs are getting taken care of. And like I said, we have that other aspect, which is our self-care aspect, which is our mind spa. So, just giving people some time to just be able to come in, sit, relax, sip on some tea and get a massage and not leave out the way that they came. Because, sometimes when we go for the massages, 10 minutes before we're getting off the table, our minds are going back to, oh, gosh, this is what I got to do when I get home or once I leave here. We're undoing all of the stress relief that we've had. So, we make sure that when our clients come in for their self-care sessions, that they're able to have strategy for when they leave, and they don't have to, take all of that and try to figure out what to do afterwards. So that's all about what we do.
I love that. I want to commend you for creating that space for people to come in and not only just get the therapy that they would need, but also get the self-care too.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. So you have a brand new company called the Brilliant One Unlimited LLC. Super congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell us more about Brilliant One Unlimited LLC.
Yeah, so that's the baby. So right about now, Brilliant One Unlimited LLC is just a few months old. So really what it is a business coaching and consulting firm, and it also has a publishing sector to it as well. And, and what it's all about is just being able to unfold our plans, just walk into the purpose that God has created us to walk into, and, just knowing that those things can be manifested. So, this is a business built on faith. I always, when I'm telling people about it, I say, I didn't create this. Like, God put this in me. This is an assignment for me from God. I'm just the vessel that is facilitating it, but, he's definitely the captain that's running the ship, because, I had no idea. I had no idea that I would be doing this, but, he really just put this in my spirit just to help others, definitely dreamers and visionaries, be able to not to move out of that dream and vision stage, but to be able to produce, be able to see their dreams and visions manifested. So it's definitely a faith walk.
Brilliant mind. With the dreaming, basically you're teaching, your clients how to execute and to get to the next level, right? So I think that's pretty awesome, Dr. Valeka. Thank you for creating that space, because that's so needed, because us dreamers, we sometimes need help with, getting to that next level, to get somebody to help us push out, those things that are inside of us, because it's so important that you have someone that's been there, done that, to help you continue to get there.
Yes, absolutely, and I totally get it, because I am like the head dreamer. so I completely, get that, and I'm just thankful to God for, just being able to, because I remember as I was praying and I was just seeking God, and, he was giving me this, I'm just like, wow, I can't even believe that he's entrusting me to do this, so I just thank him for, just putting this gift inside of me. And, it's just so rewarding seeing others begin to manifest just the dreams that they've had for years. So it's, it's an absolute blessing.
I love it. Will you please share with listeners how they can purchase your services, how they can follow Brilliant One, and how they can contact you to, get to the next level? Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the easiest way to that has all of my information, Dr. Valeka Moore, www.drvalekamoore.com. So that's Dr. D-R-V as in Victor, ALEKAMOORE.com. So that has all my social, is connected to all social media and everything.
Love it. So please follow her and support her. Dr. V is amazing. We all need somebody to help push out, continue to help push these dreams out of us, because we can't get there by ourselves. So, Dr. V, you are an amazing author. You are the author of The Mental Detox for the Brilliant Woman Leader, and you just did a new project where you're the visionary author of Breaking to Brilliance anthology series. So please tell us more about your awesome book.
Yes, thank you so much, Ashley. So I was able, remember I told you about that childhood dream of becoming an author. So I was finally able to walk in that, to see that manifest last year as I was able to have my first book published, The Mental Detox for the Brilliant Woman Leader, which is a 31 journey to just self-care, clearing our minds, and, just mentally detoxing. So, it shares a little bit in the beginning about my story of really needing that big mental detox, and that's about how the book came about, when I didn't even know it was going to be a book. But, it starts off with me talking about my own journey and just the things that I learned from that journey, and they are divided up into 31 days of helping others to be able to mentally detox. And then the newest book, oh my gosh, I am so excited about that, is The Breaking to Brilliance. We actually just had our book signing on Saturday for that. So I'm super excited about that. Yes. So, I worked with 14 absolutely amazing women since November, and so this was a pretty quick work, but just the most amazing women. Some, were already authors. Some, this was their first time, they were becoming authors. So, so that was so exciting. But, what the book is all about is just stories of healing and triumph. So stories, just situations in our lives that didn't look good, didn't feel good, the hardships, the disappointments, the places of burden and brokenness, but they were able to, or God was able to turn them around to work them out for our good. So just the healing and the triumph that was able to take place. That's what we shared about.
I love it. I know those stories are powerful. I know you can't tell everybody all of it, but do you mind naming some of the chapters in there, or maybe one or two?
Sure. So my chapter is the first chapter. Let me see if I actually have a book here, but it is the Brilliance Within. That is the first chapter. I mean, oh my gosh, I found the book, so I'm getting ready to name you these chapters because they are absolutely amazing. Oh gosh. So we have Hidden Treasures in a Broken Vessel. Wonderful. I mean, all of these chapters are just great. Forgiving the Hurt in 2 Parts, Guilt of a Mother, Confused Love, I Just Can't Tell It All, Waking Up to a Nightmare. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, these stories, no one can derail you from what God has assigned. Shine Bright, being the authentic me. Arrested Development. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, that's pretty almost all of them. But I mean, amazing chapters. I remember when the ladies began sending over their chapters before, I could even start to read them, to review them. I was just captivated by the titles. So, if you think the titles are something, I mean, just imagine how powerful the stories actually are.
Right. And so would you please tell listeners, Dr. Valeka, how they can purchase your book, where they can go get, book you to speak, purchase you all to get your books, get, in their city for book signing. How can they get this to happen? How can we make this happen?
Yes, absolutely. So back to my website. That is the easiest way to get in contact with me. So I'll say it again. It's www.drvalekamore.com. And then across all social media platforms, I am Dr. Valeka Moore.
And you had the awesome, amazing Dr. Tashika Green at your book signing this past weekend as well. And
she was so amazing. Yes, she was so amazing. My goodness.
Yes. So tell us about your book signing. How was it?
It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. We had 12 of the 15 authors that were able to be there. And I know you had a book signing this past weekend as well. Yes. So one of our authors was Miss Jessica Mosley. So she wasn't able to be there because of the book signing that past weekend as well. But we did have 12 of the 15. It was just, oh my gosh, it was just a day of just inspiration, encouragement, empowerment. empowerment. Just, God, his presence was just in that room. If you know Dr. Tashika Green, she brought the presence of God with her. So we just, we prayed, we shared our stories. We had, people just you could just tell that the inspiration was there. We even talked about, how someone who we could just hear, like people were sharing with us how, our stories were causing them to think about writing their own stories. We even had men standing up because, as I said, this was a book of 15 women sharing their stories, but we had maybe 7 or 8 men in the room that had come to support some of the women, and they were asking, how do the men get a book? And so, so the men, they were encouraged as well. They were inspired to share their stories as well. So, it was just an awesome day.
Well, amazing. Super congratulations to you again, Dr. Valeka Moore.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So I always ask all of my guests this question before we leave. How did you create your seat at the table?
I love that question. And the answer to that, number one, I'm going to say that God created my seat at the table. And that comes, just from me being in a space of understanding that, I'm just a vessel and I'm just going along with the assignments that he places in my spirit, just the things that, he puts in my spirit, because I believe that just every great, and the word tells us, just every good and perfect gift that it comes from him, so just the ideas that I have, and that I'm able to see manifested, I know that they come from him. And that's what helps me to be able to touch lives and to reach people. So I would say that, God definitely has created my seat, has created my seat at the table. But something else that is very important, and just very important for anyone that is thinking about stepping out and, whether it's creating a business or starting a business, writing a book, is that the important thing is that you take that step of faith and go ahead and get started. That you got to get started, that you got to start somewhere, because we're always looking at this big vision, right? We know what God has put in our hearts, and we see the big vision, and it's just like, oh, my gosh, that seems so big. I don't know if I can fulfill that. But if we just take and put one foot forward, God has already laid out the path for us to begin walking. So, we take one step, and then he'll open up the next door. He'll show us the next door. So just go ahead and get started. Start somewhere.
I love it, Dr. Valeka. Getting started and submitting and surrendering to him. I love that. I love that. So, Dr. V, you have, quarter one, you pretty much overexceeded, and more. We're in quarter two now. What do you have for the rest of 2019 planned out? What do we expect from you?
I'm helping others right now. I'm helping others. Whatever, God puts before me, and I love it, because last year I had made a post on social media that the 3 dreams that I had as a youth, as I was getting ready to go to college, that the last of the 3 dreams were fulfilled last year. And, so I was just like, wow, well, thank you, God. And I had such an amazing year last year, and I'm just like, okay, God, I don't know what's next, or, wow, I just can't believe this, but God, just in my conversations with him, he's very clear and very frank with me, and he let me know that, it's not about you. So, he showed me that he allowed me to be able to reach my goals and fulfill my dreams so that I can do it for someone else, or I can help someone else move and shift into their dreams and manifest those dreams as well. So, that's what it's all about this year for me, being able to help others just step into their next. And whatever that is, whatever the dreams that they have on their heart, whatever it is that they're envisioning, that I am able to help them begin to walk down that path. So that's what's next for me.
I love that, because true success is reaching back and pulling forward. That's true success.
Yes.
I love that. And you're going to be at Essence, too, though, coming up.
Oh, yes, I'm super excited about that. I am so super excited about that because I've never gone to New Orleans before. So I'm super excited about that trip as well.
Awesome. So please support Dr. Valeka. She is doing some amazing things, and I can't wait to see what she's going to do the rest of 2019. But the most important thing that she's doing is helping others, and that's always priority. That's always what we should be thinking about, is reaching back and pulling forward. I love that, Dr. Valeka. I love that. So will you please tell us how we... You are welcome. Will you please tell us once again before we close how they can follow you and contact you and book you for speaking events and whatever else that they want to do, talk to you, hire you as their therapist, because you are a jack of all trades.
Thank you. So, yes. So, everyone, and it's just been a pleasure to be on tonight, Ashley. Thank you so much for having me. Anyone can connect with me through my website, www.drvalekamore.com. So that's www.drvalekamore.com. I'm Dr. Valeka Moore.
Awesome. So please follow her and support her, and definitely get her new book, because it is powerful.
Yes.
Definitely reach out and support Dr. Valeka, because she is amazing, and she's consistent, and she's all about helping others. It's not just on this radio show. This is something she does consistently every day. So thank you, Dr. Valeka Moore, for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come on the show today, and I wish you many, many blessings on your journey.
Thank you so much, Ashley, and many blessings to you.
Yes, ma'am, and I look forward to bringing you back before the end of the year.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it.
Yes. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to Dr. Larry White Sr. and author Kimberly McLemore. And I would also like to give a special thanks to our sponsors, Prophetess Deborah Allen of Visionary Coaching and Consulting Group, LLC. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals, celebrities, entrepreneurs, authors, and speakers who are transitioning or have transitioned to entrepreneurship.
I am so delighted to share with you this book, Fierce. Fierce was a vision that God gave to me during the greatest battle of my life, and it was birthed through fire from my very existence. This book was written to encourage you, strengthen you, and to inspire you that you can be strong and you can hold on by the grace of God. It is available through ebook on Amazon. And we speak in the book, I want to introduce you to Visionary Coaching and Consulting Group, LLC. We offer child care coaching, ministerial coaching, author coaching, pastoral coaching, motivational speaking, inspirational speaking, conferences, and so much more. Our vision at VCCG is seeing your words come to life.